have passed my part 107. So I used a test prep site called Dart Drones. It was so simple. It took me about 10 days. The modules range anywhere from about 20 to 60 minutes. Do one each day. Before you know it, you'll be taking your test. The reason I decided to take my test was, as you know, if you make $1 off of a aerial photography or aerial video, technically you're commercial and you should have your part 107. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have it. And it's not easy, but it's not hard. Just takes a little bit of studying. And it opens up so much more airspace. You got to be a little bit more responsible, but it's not that much. And truthfully, it can only help the hobby, and I don't see any downside. I mean, I've taken a lot of tests, from ham tests to a lot of different certifications. And truthfully, this one's very useful. So if you have the time, I would say take about 10 hours. Just go for it, man. Major downside is you got to take the test every 2 years. The test costs $150. But, I mean, it can only help the hobby and help the industry. So, been flying for a little while now. Some of the software that I have been using, the DJI Go 4 app can be a little glitchy at times, and the Litchi app, while it costs about $20, it gives you a little bit more functionality. Is it worth $20? Truthfully, I kind of want to say no. It's probably worth about $5 or $10, but it's still not that bad. Another service that I'm using is AirData. It used to be called Happy Drones. So what it's doing, it's taking your D-logs from DJI Go 4 or Litchi and uploading it to a web service. So it's keeping track of how many times you've flown the drone, how many times you've used specific batteries, how long you've used those batteries for. It is very, very useful. Is the price worth it? If you're commercial and you're going to fly your drone a lot, I would say yes. Now they have, I don't know, 4 or 5 different plans, so you need to make your own judgment call on that. As a commercial pilot, you got to make sure that you're doing service records on your equipment. So if you're a list person and you naturally gravitate towards that, then maybe you'll just do your own little Excel sheet or a little notebook or something. But this just makes it so simple. There's one less thing to be concerned with. It does a little maintenance log saying, hey, you need to do a service check on your battery number 2, or you need to do a service on your Mavic. It's a basic service or it's an extended service. So that's useful. It's probably a little OCD, so just keep that in mind. But there's no harm in being thorough, especially with aircrafts. So I'm using 2 digital sector charts, SkyVector and Avar. SkyVector's, I think, only on a computer. You probably can run it through your Chrome on your phone, but it gives you up-to-date information on temporary flight restrictions, so that's useful. I live in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have to be too concerned with them, but I check every so often. And then Avar is very useful. I have it on my phone and the tablet that I use, and you can download all of the nation's sectional charts and even the tax. So you have up-to-date information, and it's nice because it throws a little bit of a dot wherever you are, so you can see, hey, this is unclassified airspace or classified airspace, so you know that before you fly. Alright, so here is some of the stuff that I am using. I got these little cases. I'll put a link in the description, so that way I can throw the drone and the controller in any bag that I have. First thing that I did, I got a MavMount, so that way I can mount the tablet to the controller. And it's got this nice nerdy neck lanyard. Also, as a commercial pilot, you can fly from sunup to sundown. As a hobbyist, technically you're not allowed to fly until 30 minutes after sunrise, and you have to end 30 minutes before sunset. Now, the only thing as a commercial pilot, you need anti-collision lighting on your drone. The lights that are on this drone do not meet the FAA standards of 3 statute miles. But a company called Firehouse makes these little standalone. They charge with a little USB, and that thing, 3 statute miles. So I like this a lot. I think I'm going to buy a couple more. I notice when I'm flying, let's turn this bad boy off because that's probably mad annoying. And I just have a little piece of Velcro. I have Velcro to the back of that. As I'm flying, especially away from myself, I can't see that light. And I would just like it as just confirmation of where the craft is in space. So I'm thinking about adding one maybe to the back side and maybe to the front and maybe even to the sides. So a nice little device. It's creative that someone came up with that. So that's everything I'm using right now. So that's the accessories and software that I'm using with my drone. I'm really excited. It should add an increased level of production value to my videos. And this is emerging technology, and I'm really excited about seeing what's going on in the future. So, do you know what you call a plane that's about to crash? An aeroplane. Well, everybody, this is Jurgen, the Badass Homesteader. Peace.